Hi there guys, lots of you have been asking for full mark responses and full responses, not just sample paragraphs. So I want to share with you a full mark response to a question 3. This is from the November 2018 paper 1. So if you've not seen this paper, you could pause now to have a look. Okay, and here it is, the rest of it. Just pause again. You can pause here and there. Okay, good pester your teachers, try and get a copy of the paper. It's quite a good one, it's quite interesting because there's a fair bit of action and dialogue which not all of the previous exam papers have had on them. So remembering that in this question you do need to look at the whole of the source. It's from the middle of a short story, which is interesting. So if it's the middle, we know that characters are going to have been introduced to us, ideas. So this is more about the development. So I'll take you through. I've written this already, primarily because I've started doing this tutorial about 4 times and then I kept going wrong and yada yada. So always start off with this line here at what the beginning is the writer focusing on. So I'm going to say here at the beginning the writer focuses our attention on Eccles and his guide Travis. So we've got the idea of, implied though it is, we've got the focus on character. They're in an exciting prehistoric jungle setting. So in terms of another structural device there, the reader together with the characters has travelled back in time, so we've got some idea about time frame there. Initially is a good word to use. It's a structural word. It tells you something's happening at the beginning. Initially the jungle seems natural and undisturbed, but this changes, another good structural term to use, with the key word suddenly. Now lots of my students end up kind of talking about language in this question, so I was a bit wary about writing this, but as long as you're not zooming in on the meaning of suddenly, it's fine to put examples and it's fine to say that somewhere structurally there is a word that is pivotal, that everything from that word onwards, there's a change, there's a shift, and in this story, they're in the jungle and suddenly everything has stopped, all the noise and silence. Well, I'm not going to zoom in on the word silence has connotations of, but what I am going to say is that at this point, things are changing and there's quite a dramatic moment. So the key word suddenly, which freezes the readers and indicates things are about to change. It's followed by, again, good structural sentence starter, it's followed by the one word impact sentence, another structural technique there, so looking at sentence structure there. The one word impact sentence silence, which preempts the thunder. The cause of the noise is ambiguous. Ambiguity to me can be a structural or a linguistic technique, but I think it works okay here. I'm just going to go back and highlight the other structural things that I've incorporated here. The writer then reveals, and there's a strong sense of the writer at work here, the writer and their methods. Reveals is a good structural word to use, that the sound is coming from a dominant, terrifying T-Rex. The writer uses dialogue, with an example there, to suggest the terror and anxiety of the men who are facing their worst nightmare, an enormous deadly dinosaur. So I've got textual references and examples here. The rest of the text, even that is a fine kind of sentence starter to use, is structured with detailed description of the T-Rex as well as dialogue between the two men. This enables readers to understand how terrifying the beast is. We can visualise its size and savagery and can then see the men's panic and fear. So I've got textual refs again, haven't put quotes in, but that's okay, you don't need them. And we've also got the sense of effect on readers. The short sentences and paragraphs add to the pace, creating halting and nervous energy, which reflects the men's realisation of the danger they're in. The writer ends the extract with a dramatic description of the T-Rex moving quickly towards them. This is tense because it seems inevitable that the men will die, so we've got some effects of that structural choice there. The introduction of the rifles, something new introduced, machine versus animal, allows the men to shoot the dinosaur, and the extract ends with their unexpected, almost unbelievable victory. So again, an 8 out of 8 response, full marks, and hopefully you can see there that I've done that side and then one more full size side there. And I definitely didn't need to go onto my extra space. I think really that's only there if you've gone wrong. To be perfectly honest, you've got plenty of room on those couple of sides. Now this took me, I think, 12 minutes when I timed myself. So it is challenging, you do need to write quickly, but hopefully what you can see from this response is that I've really tracked the structure from the beginning to the end. So this isn't about multiple this isn't about one or two peel points. This is tracking a number of devices that the writer has used. I've got textual references, sometimes quotes, sometimes just what's been done, and I've got clear sense of effects. I've got a good solid focus on the writer and what they've done. Okay, so I hope that's been useful in terms of you being, oh sorry, I've got my phone there. I hope that's been useful just in terms of you being able to see a full response. I'll just pause it there and then over on this other side so you can see the full thing in kind of one go. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I hope it was useful.